We've learned a Morgan County judge has cleared the way for the trial of former Decatur police officer Mac Marquette, who is facing murder charges for the 2023 shooting death of Steve Perkins.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Like, share, subscribe, comment. IG, TikTok on the video, and we're just gonna hop right into it. So today, we'll be doing actually some more body cam footage, back-to-back days. But this one is a little, different than the Drewski one, very much darker than the Drewski one yesterday. So this is about ex-Decatur, Alabama police officer Bailey Mac Marquette. Now is not getting police immunity and is being charged with the murder of a Stephen Perkins. So what ends up happening, and obviously, if you've been here before with me in the body cam footage, we usually watch cut-ups and things of that sort, and not just it in its entirety. But what ends up happening, it's a attempted repossession. The tow truck driver, tries to, I guess he was behind on his payments. Well, obviously, he tried to repossess him. He was behind on his payments. Goes to his house to repossess the truck. While the tow truck driver tries to repossess the truck, he ends up, and Stephen Perkins, the guy who ends up getting killed, comes out his house and pulls a gun on the tow truck driver. So obviously, tow truck driver drives away, doesn't repo it, so drives away. Then he calls the police. He calls the police, and obviously, the police. Well, not let me not say obviously, because we're gonna get into this. We're gonna get into an issue why this might be an issue later. The police, he tells them the situation. They end up sending some. I guess he meets up with them at a location and then rides over there with the officers to, get the truck.
Hey Kelly, this is Caleb with All Star Recovery.
Hey.
I was wondering if you could get an officer out here to our lot.
What's the address?
3920 Full Valley Road.
Okay, what was your name again?
Caleb.
And what's your phone number there?
My personal is 256-508-7058.
Okay, what's going on?
Went to try to secure a vehicle, and Rder came out of the house and pulled a gun on me.
Where did that happen?
3931 Ryan Drive.
Okay, did they fire off a shot or anything?
No, it just I called Jack earlier, and he said that pushes the borders of civil and criminal.
Who's the debtor that pulled the gun?
The vehicle's name is under Stephen Perkins, but I don't know who the gentleman was that come out on me.
Okay. Do you know what he was?
I'm assuming it's him.
Okay. Did you get a look at him? What he looked like?
Yeah, he bald, like a milk chocolate color, black man.
Okay. Did you see what he was wearing?
He come out in basketball shorts and like a white T-shirt.
Did you see what kind of gun it was?
I did not. It was dark.
Okay. Was it a handgun or a long gun?
Yeah.
It's a handgun.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I'll get somebody down to y'all shop on Pool Valley to meet with you.
9 clear.
10-4. I have a meat complaint at holding for you.
10-4, go ahead.
It's going to be 3920 Pool Valley Road Southwest. Callers requesting to meet at All-Star Recovery reference. He was trying to get a vehicle on Ryan Drive, and the male stepped out and pulled a gun on him. And you can see your notes are further. 3920 Pool Valley Road Southwest.
So then what we end up seeing happening from the body cam footage, it looks as it's 3 officers, Marquette. So Marquette and the 2 other officers actually it looks like they're hiding around the house, which I think will become an issue, but I'll talk about that later for this case. And what we end up seeing happening, the tow truck, begins to try to do the process of repossession. We see Stephen Perkins sprints out his house with a gun in hand. Now, where he does sprint out his house, and we actually have multiple angles of this because we have all their body cam footage. Now, I'm not gonna lie, one angle of the body cam footage, the guy besides Marquette, the officer beside Marquette that obviously Marquette's the only one shot because he only got a murder charge. But officer to the right of Marquette, he ain't really got a good angle. We not really gonna use his shit in here. But Marquette's angle and the guy is an officer. He's actually in front of the house. So like I said, if you're able to, I'll probably try to put a picture of the diagram, try to explain this if I can. Basically, so like I said, Marquette is on the side of the house. Like, so the driveway is like straight ahead. Marquette is kind of hiding on the other side of the house, and the front door is on this side of the house. So Perkins can't see nothing. I guess he can see the tow truck, obviously, because it's the front of his house. I don't know. I'm not sure how well he can see the officer that's right here, because there's an officer dead in front of him. That's one of the angles we're going to see. But he definitely can't see the two on this side, especially with it being dark outside. So he runs out. We end up seeing gun in hand, especially from the front angle. But from the second angle, it's easier. It's kind of better, like, because he has a light attached to his gun to see where he's aiming to. Because it's obviously with the light, it's going to illuminate where he's aiming or pointing the gun. So what you end up seeing is the gun first kind of goes through the tow truck. You hear the officers kind of get his attention by yelling, like, they kind of yell him, get attention. So he turns. He actually aims the gun at the officer, and then that's when the officer proceeds to shoot.
Hey, police, get on the 573, shots fired, shots fired. Drop the gun! Drop!
But he ends up shooting him 18 times. Now, obviously they get on top of, not gonna say get on top of him. They actually put him in handcuffs, but they obviously rolled him over, tried to help him breathing, try to get the EMS there, but he ends up succumbing to his injuries.
Hey, I got him covered. I got covered.
And now, like I said, Bailey Mac Marquette is, they didn't give him immunity, and he's being charged with murder. And his case keeps getting pushed back, but I think they said this time will start on June 9th, if I remember correctly. So we'll do an update when it comes. But basically, I'm gonna give my opinion on. Obviously I'm working on my legal expertise, every day with this channel, but I'm gonna give my opinion. So when I first, especially from the front angle, when I first seen it, I actually got, first seen it, it was actually from an exposed racist and pedos page, and I don't think that's what this was at all. Honestly, I don't think this was now, yes, the tow truck driver did say this was a black man, but because obviously he has to get a description, but I just don't think that this had anything to do with race, in my personal opinion. Like I said, it's gonna be a tough conversation, but I just believe, nigga, when you first of all, I just believe it's absolutely ridiculous to, pull a gun on a tow truck driver. Now that's a crime in itself. Now I know a tow truck driver repossession, a repo man, I should say, is already a dangerous job as it is. But let's not make their lives any harder by trying to pull a gun on them. You just making their life more dangerous. And like, what was you gonna do? You was gonna shoot the repo man, but like, my thing is with the repo man, he got locations and all this, and he's probably has something that tells you that he's going to your location and all that. So what you gonna shoot and kill the repo man? Now you got a tow truck stuck in your yard, and they probably got a tracker. The company probably got a track on a tow truck. Like, it wasn't. I just don't get what the idea. So I guess he was just trying to scare him. But like, what if the repo man said, "Nigga, I'm still take your truck"? You was gonna shoot him then? So I don't know what Stephen Perkins' idea was with that. Another issue I do want to say with the phone call, but it's not. That's a tow truck driver. He did say, somebody said that he was closer to a criminal sort. Now I don't know where he got the information with, but that's a little bad. Just saying, you shouldn't just be saying somebody's a criminal. That's bad. Let me just say that, especially when it's white to black. Let me say, next thing that makes it an issue is the fact that they were hiding. Well, let me say this first. So what I end up finding out is that at first, hearing the phone call and, or y'all can go back and listen to it because I probably put it in there. I mean, put it in here at this point. Hearing the phone call and the way the guy asked for this, it seems like this is a reoccurring occurrence. Like this, it just didn't seem like this was something that was new to him. It sounded like niggas pull guns all the time. He asked the cops to come all the time. So it just felt like a normal thing. So even when I watched it, I would have thought that was a normal thing for cops to, acquaint them when it's, when they already, been in danger. But what I ended up finding out is that legally cops cannot come with you to repossess a car unless there is a court order. And obviously he just called the police thing and they reported, and so there was no court order. So that's a big issue. Another issue I think will for the murder case. I mean for the case of him. I just think the only self defense case he got that the guy pointing a gun at him and it's on video with the light and everything. That's the only self defense case. But on the other side of it, like I said, I just think them hiding in the shadows is going to be an issue because it's kind of like you were setting him up. Cause you feel me, like cause you already know he came out here with a gun before, and now the repo man is back trying to do the same thing. So if he's looking, he's probably going to try to do the same thing. So you doing that and you're hiding is kind of like you running him into a trap. So that's why I think it's gonna become an issue. Cause I feel like if you were going to, first of all, you shouldn't have went because of the court order rule. I didn't know that, but if you were going to, trying to, keep the peace and keep the guy safe, I would have thought that as a police officer, you would knock on the door first. Yes, you are assuming a risk of knocking on the door, but I just think the door knock would have been the first option instead of, just going into hiding in plain sight and waiting for the guy to come out. I mean, not hiding in plain sight, but hiding in the dark and waiting for the guy to come out. It just looks a little funny. Next thing that I think is going to be an issue. How many times he ended up shooting him? Now, obviously, it's going to be hard for me to put this on YouTube with the sounds and everything, so you might have to go look it up for yourself about that specific part of it or hearing it. But, I mean, I told you he shot him 18 times, but on camera, it sounds just as bad as the 18 times is labeled. It's like, why did you... It just wasn't necessary to shoot him all the times. Like, he really let the clip off. Like, I know officers are trained to shoot to kill, especially when a gun is aimed at you, but... I think that's gonna be an issue, and that how many times he shot him. Like I have said before, with a self-defense versus a murder case, overkill is also considered. So self-defense, shoot him once, twice to get him off you, but shooting him 18 times, that's probably gonna get you a murder case. It's overkill. So as I relay it and think it out, I just think it's so many, factors that he did wrong, even though the guy did point a gun at him, that he will end up getting charged for murder, at least manslaughter. I could see at least manslaughter just because the guy did point a gun at him, but he's going to get charged for something. So I see why they took his immunity away. But yeah, it's a really sad situation, bro. I don't believe you should be, pointing a gun at a police officer because they are humans too, especially, trained humans. Like, they're trained to do this, but they're humans too, and they're trying to make it home to their family. So I don't get that idea of it. But as a police officer, he did a lot wrong when it came to protocol. So that I think that will get him in trouble. But yeah, that's really all I got to say. Like, share, subscribe, comment. IG TikTok, bottom view, and we out.